You are now listening to Cryptid Cocktail Party. Creatures, let's meet for a drink. It's a treat. Join us. Join us in the fight. Cryptid Cocktail Party. Cryptid Cocktail Party.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I'm your host, Dave, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Sarge. Happy Easter, Sarge.
Happy Easter. He is risen. Name of my erotic novel.
Fucking all right.
I've been waiting a full year for that one.
I bet you have. How's it going, man? How's life?
It's good. It's good. My kids have their Easter baskets. They're very excited. I just bought my youngest son an airsoft rifle.
Nice. He's gonna shoot his eye out.
Yeah. Well, I've got safety goggles. I'm going to be very careful. I also won't be allowing him full access to it because I feel like
That's smart.
there would be a news story in the very near future.
Are you gonna let
I
him
would be in
go?
trouble.
Like, are you gonna let him become like an unsufferable airsoft, like the one who wears like full tactical gear and goes?
No,
to, like,
I told him, I was like, look, bud, I was an actual soldier, so we're going to do this right. You are not going to be a fucking dork. Do you understand? And he's like, okay.
We're going to send you to
So
the Middle East first to fight for oil,
Yeah.
and then you can come back and use the airsoft gun.
Exactly. We need to go to a forever war that accomplishes nothing, and then you can do airsoft.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
No, I'm careful with it because I don't want him to be one of those insufferable dorks. I just think he has a lot of energy, and he would be an excellent asset on the battlefield. If anything, just to Leroy Jenkins his way into buildings and stuff.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what we need in today's army. We need more Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
Yeah, fuck those weird drones that fly in and shoot you right in the face. It just sends your kid right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sending my kid into the dusty battlefields. You know what's hard to get, though, is BBs. You can't order that shit on Amazon, I found out. You can get the gun. You can't get the BBs.
Well, they're not BBs anymore. Because when we were a kid, BBs were fucking straight up ball bearings. They were just metal
So you can get
balls.
those. Weirdly enough, you can order those on Amazon, no problems. But you can't get the plastic ones.
I say
Don't know
airsoft's
why.
the plastic ones, right?
Yeah. And so actually what I'm purchasing are the biodegradable ones.
Okay, so when you shoot someone and it goes into their skin, it dissolves. No evidence of a crime.
No evidence. It's like the ice bullet.
I love this idea. It's going to be great. Nothing weird's going to happen to neighborhood dogs.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Your kid's not a serial killer.
I'd be more worried about
that
the
we know
mailman.
of.
I think the animals would be safe.
Okay, so he's going to be in league with the dogs to get the mailman.
Yeah, he doesn't like federal employees. So
Oh, well, come on. Back the blue when it comes to the USPS, all right?
I'm worried that he might back the blue by shooting them in the back with his BB gun.
All right, so anyways, Sarge, we have an episode today.
Boy, do we ever.
A little different. So a little over 2 years ago, before Sarge's time, we covered a story about Sam the Sandown Clown. Not the original Sam the Sandown Clown story, but a update, you will. He returned and he made himself known to I guess at the time, a boy named Luke. And I told you at the end of that episode over 2.5 years ago, if there was ever an update or if there's any new things to come out, we would share it with you. And we actually did one better, I feel like. We got Luke on the show.
Yes, we did.
To talk about his encounter with Sam the Sandown Clown. And also some new revelations, I guess, that has popped up over the past few years. Super cool dude, super chill, his vibes are very laid back.
As are most Canadians, I feel.
Yeah. So as promised, we got an update for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just go right into the interview.
Yep.
I don't have any bumper music, so I'm just gonna go. Beep, boop, 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 boop. All right, so Luke, Thank you so much for joining us today. I guess why don't we just start with why don't you introduce yourself and then we can dive into your story. How's that?
Alrighty. My name is Luke. I'm 35. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada. I've got 3 little ones. I am a recently separated dad, and I don't have any job at the moment, so I'm just kind of living off government money.
That's the dream, Luke, honestly. Because you're in Canada, so like they actually care about you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna make me joke. All right, Luke,
we're like 5 years away from Hunger Games down here.
No, we're not, it's closer to like 3, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
No, wait, hold on, real quick before we start. Don't we have like the actual like Hunger Games happening? Like, isn't the president trying to do like the strongest boy and strongest girl from every state competing against each other? Or did I hallucinate that?
I think I heard something like that. He's also having an MMA fight at the White House, which is great.
Yeah, so we're already
first physical combat at the White House since Teddy Roosevelt blinded a diplomat.
Yeah, so we're already at Hunger Games. Anyways, so
you guys are a year away from 2 + 2 = 5.
That's very valid. All right, Luke. So I guess why don't you just start from the beginning, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, tell us your story, how you remember it.
Okay, so at the time I would have been 4.5, 5. It would have been mid to early October. It's at my grandparents' place. So the layout of my grandparents' place is that they have the big 2-story house with a porch in the back, and then they have a fairly large field to the right of their house. I'd say it was almost like farmland. It was this. If it was farmland at the time, I don't remember, but like
beautiful rolling hills, though, right? Like,
but it's middle of October, so it's like yellowy, half dead hills.
Growing up in New Hampshire, I could picture exactly this scenario. Yeah.
And then they had like the quote unquote first shed, which was the garage, and then the second shed, which was like this big old white building. Like, when I think of shed, I think tiny shed, and it was this huge thing,
like the size of a garage,
like the size of like another like a single story house behind.
Jesus.
Theirs. Yeah,
That's like a straight up barn.
that shed could house like a family.
yeah.
You just keep a lawnmower in there. These Canadians, man.
I wasn't allowed in there for number one because I'm afraid of mice, and it was tons of mice in there.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, that's where they kept. It's my grandfather kept all like the old stuff that they weren't using. All the stuff that they were using was in the garage.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then beyond that was like this little garden, and then beyond that was this big man-made, like it wasn't like a koi pond, but it was like a goldfish pond.
Yeah, just like a nice
really?
little, yeah.
And when they had been making it, there had been a big boulder in it, and so they just took it out and put it next to the pond, and that's kind of where I used to go out back and like just play around it.
Okay.
So on this day, I was sitting on it because there were like little trees on it. They're like I think they're like little weeds, but they look like trees. I can't remember what they're called.
As a kid, I had a big rock that I played on in my yard too. So this is all very relatable so far.
You guys are lucky. I had to go like a couple of miles before I could find a big rock I could play on.
That's what you get for living.
That's what
in the
happens
city,
when you
dude.
grow up in a city.
Sorry, continue, Luke.
Yeah, sorry, we're just reminiscing.
No, I'm reminiscing too. It's great.
Before we get to the trauma.
Yeah. So I was on this day. I was sitting on the rock, and I remember hearing, I don't know, it was a noise or a voice. It was just like something to grab my attention, and it was to my right. And so I remember turning to look to my right and seeing him. I don't know how you would describe it.
Yeah.
In that way, but like,
a being. You saw a being. You can just say
Yes.
that, I guess.
This being was, I'd say, anywhere from 6 to 8. I don't know. I haven't gone back to the field for any time recently.
Well, but also if it was in a field, I feel like that is probably hard to gauge size. If he's just by grass, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, especially if you're up in a boulder too. You're looking
there's
down
no
on
point
it.
of reference. I feel, but I mean, you can tell something's big. I feel like 6 to 8 feet tall is pretty fucking big.
He was like 20, 30 feet away.
Okay.
In this field, and the best thing I could put to it is that he looked like a scarecrow.
Yeah.
He had like the yellow hat. He looked like at the time what I thought was straw coming out of his hat. But he had the triangle eyes. He had a triangle nose.
Kind of like that jack-o'-lantern kind of face to it.
Very much so, but it wasn't. Once I was able to get up closer, because he didn't feel terrifying, even though like a 7-foot tall scarecrow man to anybody else apparently would be terrifying.
Well, Luke, you had mentioned there was a reason that you probably weren't super scared of that. I don't know if you want to share that.
So my folks did clowning, and I shared an image with you of my folks dressed up, and I was used to that. I had that image of my parents as clowns in my room, like not directly bedside, but near bedside. So I had clown stuff in my room otherwise, but I was very nonchalant about clowns.
Yeah.
I was used to them versus, I guess.
You weren't afraid, or it was just indifferent almost to clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So seeing him I felt that same familial comfort, that same, like, he wasn't scary. He felt like there was a family member standing out in the field, but clearly not.
Yeah. Unless one of your family members was also an NBA power forward.
I wish.
Do you remember what time of day this was? Was it like...
This would have been just before supper time, so we're looking at 3:30 in the afternoon, probably.
Okay.
In the fall, too, so it's probably starting to get dark.
It's starting to get a little dark. It's starting to get a little chilly. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask because I know in the original, not the original, but the first Sandown sighting, it happened around, like, it was starting to get dark out too. So I'm just making connections in my head. Sorry. Just, all right.
No,
keep
that's
going.
okay. So he wore patchwork clothes.
So like your hobo clown or scarecrow sort of clothing.
Yeah, like a lot of what you'd assume of what a scarecrow would look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I got closer to him, it was apparent that it was a facsimile of it. It's kind of like it looks like it, but it's clearly not.
Like somebody printed it on. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen this, like those crappy shirts you can buy online where like they print the, Boba Fett's armor on a shirt so it looks realistic from a distance, but when you get up close you realize it's just printed on a shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like for the instance, like the straw that was coming out of his outfit, or him, I guess, from a distance, it looked like straw, right? But
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
up close to him, it's like a static. It's not. It was never intended to bend. It was like maybe like
Oh.
almost like a metal kind of
Yeah, I gotcha.
complexion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy. It just gave me chills. Well, so while we're on the topic, you said when you got closer to it, did it call you over, or did you just like get off the rock and go and walk up to him?
For me at the time, it was just like oh, it's family. I should go see them.
Okay.
As an adult now, kind of looking back on it, it feels kind of like a dog whistle. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, like maybe he had kind of subconsciously.
yeah, like that he had made a noise, and like some part of my brain was like, okay, time to get over there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I know this is when we talked about this before, I know you'd mentioned that this is kind of like it's tough to like relive all of this. So I appreciate you I know you got to like think about what's important and what isn't and all that stuff. So I appreciate you taking the time to explain it to us. So you're on the rock, you get it. For some reason you're drawn to him. What happens next when you get up close?
So how I remember it, I hear a voice in my head. I don't see it move its mouth. I hear it say, "Hello, Sam. I am all colors. Skip the starlight." And I immediately was like, well, I'm not Sam, I'm Luke.
Stupid scarecrow.
And I don't know, it felt like the tone shifted, or the mood shifted.
The vibes.
The vibes. Yeah.
The vibe shifted.
So when you said I'm not Sam, I'm Luke, you like did you feel like it got darker, like a little bit more ominous?
I feel like the feeling of comfort shifted.
Oh.
That's not a good feeling.
Yeah, kind of the worst time for that to happen too, because now you're
Yeah.
closer to it.
Yeah, it felt like it should have known my name if it was family, and it doesn't.
Oh.
And in like response to that, it reached out into the open air next to it, and it like turned like you were opening a doorknob, and then it pulled, and there was a rectangular clear door, and it opened up to reveal it felt like there was a door there, but he wasn't holding a door.
Okay.
But he like opened an invisible door. It's hard to
So it's almost like he mimed opening a door, but you
right.
immediately knew what he meant when he did that.
Yeah. And when he pulled it open, there was the shape of a doorway after he opened it. And I could see through the doorway into the actual space behind it, and it looked like green walls. It was like the walls were made out of like, sometimes it was made out of metal, sometimes it was made out of wood, but it was all the green color. And there were like buttons on the walls, and like they looked like at the time picture frames. I don't know if they were meant to be windows or something, but it looked like it was a room in here. And there were also further back into the room, there were chairs, but they seemed to be blurry, like there was something visually obscuring the chairs.
Kind of like a half cloaking kind of thing. I don't know if cloaking's the right word, but it's kind of like that.
It was
like
Bigfoot,
hazy.
Dave. Bigfoot was sitting in the chairs. That's why they were blurry.
Gotcha. All right.
So you said he opened the door on the wall. The walls are like green, kind of metallic, but also with some like wood accents or whatever. There was buttons on the walls, things that look like picture frames. and chairs. Was the whole room kind of blurry, or is it just the chairs?
Just the section right before the chairs started.
Oh, okay. Makes me think of like, you know, when you've got a Zoom background up and then something kind of keeps showing up through the background, like flickering in and out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that happens to you guys. I was using a Zoom background the other day for work, and I had a mirror behind me, and there was just like a halo around my head because the mirror wouldn't show up. The mirror kept showing up, through the background. So that's what made me think of it. But anyway, sorry. Tangent.
It kind of motioned at that point for me to enter.
Yikes.
And at first I didn't want to, because the ground rule at home was if I go anywhere, I have to ask mom and dad first.
Yeah.
And only if they know them, like,
right.
Obviously. But it didn't feel like I had that option. He was like, you got to go in. You may not want to, but you got to go in.
Now, do you think it was like that still saying kind of like that dog whistle thing in your head? Like, not to call it, I don't know what else to call it, but like, did you feel like he was threatening you subconsciously? Like if you didn't go in, something bad would happen?
It felt like it wasn't less of a threat. It was more like you don't have an option.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I went to go into the door, but before I could, he held his hand out, and I instinctively took his hand. I can still remember how it feels.
Yeah, you had described his hand to me when we talked before. Can you describe that again for us? Because I thought that was a really interesting detail.
His hand looked like the wood texture, but when you touched it, it moved and was like flesh.
Ugh.
But it still had like that grainy feeling.
That's so unnerving.
Yeah. It's like he had like rough, like calloused hands almost, right?
Like pure calluses, yeah.
Ugh. So creepy.
My father-in-law's a woodworker, and that's what his hands feel like. So now that's all I can imagine it feeling like.
My dad, too. My dad's been a carpenter his whole life. It's like shaking hands with an elephant.
But it's like if to use, I guess, your metaphor, it's like shaking hands with an elephant that you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you go in the room?
I go through the doorway, and the room temporarily disappears, and all I can see are these bright red and green. I described them originally as like Christmas lights, and that's kind of like what they were. It was like these blinking red and green lights that were moving very fast, and I could hardly see. And I go through the lights, and then all I remember from that point was that I was waking up hours later in my grandparents' house, and that my parents had said that they had gone out looking for me, and I had been out in the field, either as far as their guests asleep, and came to and brought me into the house, and I must have been passed out because I woke up hours later, right?
Oh man, that's like one of those. It's like when you're a kid and you fall asleep like on the couch, and then you wake up in your bed and you're like, "How the fuck did I get in here?"
Yeah, and coming to
and how much time did they pass between when you blacked out and then when they found you? Do you know? Like, do they know?
My best guess, because now my parents are in their 70s, so like getting them to remember anything that happened when I was 4 is
yeah.
But my best guess is that it was at least 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
Wow. Now this isn't something that I think when you and I talked last, you had said that this is something that you've only started to remember because you had never seen anything about the Sandown Clown before, right? Before, you got a little bit older. So you frame of reference for you. There was no, oh, I heard this story and it kind of ties in. You heard the story and were like, oh shit, something like that happened to me.
Yeah, it for the longest time before the podcast, it was just this weird memory in my past, and it didn't feel like a lucid dream.
Okay.
Because I know people who describe lucid dreams, and they're like, it feels real, but it's not. And
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that I would have, for like the next 30 some years, had such a detailed memory of a dream.
Yeah. So this was the account that you originally gave the Cryptonaught Podcast. Is there any more that you've been able to remember, or did you end up actually doing the hypnosis and recovering any memories?
So I spent a good portion of the last year or so doing hypnotic regressions to try and piece together as much of what happened.
So you're trying to get more of the memory. So like you already had the memory of the situation, and what you're doing now is doing the hypnotic regression to pull more out of it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And being as careful as I can with it, because it is, I'm not going to say it's leading, because I happen to find a pretty good hypnotist, or not hypnotist. What's the word?
Therapist, hypnotherapist, maybe.
Hypnotherapist. That's what I'm trying to think of. I don't know why I said hypnot.
Yeah, one makes you quack like a duck on a stage in front of people, and one helps you recover from trauma.
They say the quacking's good for me. So yeah, but we have to be really careful with it, because I don't want to have things come up that don't belong there.
Right.
Or then
and it's good that you recognize that. Because you hear about things that's always a danger.
Yeah, is that you're accidentally getting memories implanted in your head instead of ones coming forth. That happens sometimes with like alien hypnotherapy, stuff like that.
Yeah. And I, for all of this, I kind of sit on the stance of I've been a skeptic for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But this stuff, I just can't. It just doesn't I've gone through all the rationale that people who would go through to oh well, maybe it was a lucid dream. Well, here's all these things about it that it couldn't be lucid. Yeah. I don't have a history of lucid dreaming. I don't have lucid dreams. I wouldn't have a deep core memory as far as as it's in the same bracket as how I feel about other memories.
Okay.
And I have I can remember things about other memories as vividly as I can about this.
Yeah.
And that's honestly why, I was so interested in talking to you, because and bringing you on the show, because when I, was talking to you before, you're not a wide-eyed believer. You didn't spend hours talking to me about aliens from Alpha Centauri. You were just talking about this one experience. This isn't like one of those things where you're like, well, first I met Sam the Sandown Clown, and then later I rode the Loch Ness Monster. You weren't. That's why I was so interested in your story, because you're not trying to get anything out of this. Your camera's not even on. You don't want us to see your face, so we get it. And that's why
my camera's not on, because I don't own a camera.
Well,
it's a good enough reason of any.
Either way. But yeah, you're not trying to get famous or anything. You're just trying to tell your story, and that's kind of That's what makes it so compelling to me, because you do have some pretty significant memories, but you don't, it's not like a picture perfect story. You didn't craft this. It sounds like it's something you really do remember. Now, has this had like any kind of significant effect on your life, on your day to day? Do you have like flashbacks or anything like that?
I have moments where, like, with the hypnotic sessions, that through the day, it's becoming more and more aware of things.
Okay.
But, like, I'd say it's post podcast awareness. It's there's a lot of things that I'm just like, I don't know how to put it in words. I hope and also don't hope that it happens again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So you could like kind of almost like get some closure on it.
Yeah. Or at least validate almost that it did actually happen, and that it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the best kinds of things you can look at and do. What's the word? Like when you do scientific study things, if it's repeatable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah. I 100% get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
I had a paranormal experience once when I was younger, and I kind of feel the same way. Where I tried to not recreate it, obviously, because I didn't really know. I tried to debunk it myself. Like I was asking people questions, and like I won't get into the whole thing because that's for another day. But I remember asking people questions, being like, "Has this ever happened to you? Do you think something like this could happen? How could this happen?" Like all that kind of stuff. So I know what you're talking about. You kind of need something to fill in the gap that's missing. Like, what was this? Because it's almost insidious that happened when you were a little kid. Because, like, as a little kid, you can't really put all that stuff together yet.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's like the definition of high strangeness, really.
Yeah.
Like this isn't your typical alien story.
So if you don't mind me asking, has anything new come about with these hypnotherapy sessions that you can share, want to share? You don't have to, obviously, but
I'm like I said, I'm very careful with it. I think the major things about it are that. So I'll go into two things right now, I guess. The first thing is that when I was inside the actual structure, there were the chairs themselves. They had outlines of other Sams.
Oh,
or other Sam-like beings.
Yeah.
And that's something that I did remember from my original encounter, but with the hypnotic sessions, expanded upon that a bit more. So something that occurred was that there were, and they revealed themselves to me in there, two other distinct Sams. The second Sam that I encountered was how he appeared in the sessions for me was as the Sam that we're familiar with. I don't believe that he looked exactly like that, but that he looked somewhat similar to it.
Okay.
Because I remember from the session that his image would shift, and so the idea being that he would shift between a different form and the one that we're familiar with.
Yeah.
But that might just be my brain playing tricks on me. I don't
or
know.
just trying to like piece it all together.
Yeah.
The third Sam was blank. It was like the shape of a person, but it was, or the shape, not the shape of a person, but the shape of a Sam. But there's no connective lines where the hat ends, where the head ends, where the
So it's just like an
ends.
outline almost.
It was like a pure white silhouette that walked around and interacted with things.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And there were conversations in the shed. I call it shed, I guess. I don't know.
In the Sam shed.
The Sam shed.
Yeah.
All right.
And the idea being that the one that had brought me in had only just recently taken his appearance, and that the one that was blank hadn't made a connection yet with anything or anyone, so it couldn't take a form.
I'm tracking.
So they're almost
piecing it.
communicating with you like through your thoughts.
Yeah.
Is that what it feels like? Because I was going to ask you, you said he had said something to you. And I think the way you kind of worded it, the impression that I got was that, the way he communicated with you was through some kind of silent communication, through thoughts or whatever. I was going to ask, like, did the voice sound familiar? Did the voice have, what did the voice sound like? Or was it just literally a voice in your head, so you can't really?
Through kind of exploring things, I wouldn't say that the voice was a voice that I recognized.
Okay.
But it felt like I should recognize it. The closest thing I've ever heard to kind of what it sounded like was this is going to sound, insane, but this is what it was.
You are telling us about a clown that abducted you, so we're
yeah, we're well past that.
We're all in, buddy.
Yeah,
we're here for you.
Do you guys remember the old speaking spells?
Yeah.
Imagine like a humanized that.
Okay. Like a Stephen Hawking.
Like a Stephen Hawking, but coming from like vocal cords rather than like a machine.
Like an RFK.
Oh God! Now that you say about it.
A more.
I didn't mean to ruin
though.
it even more for you, but his voice kind of reminds me of a human speaking spell. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Did it try to get you to drink any raw milk? Wow. So it was kind of robotic, basically. It was like something that didn't, so it was like a robotic voice.
Like an organic robotic voice, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Kind of like almost talking to you like maybe like Spock.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's funny you bring up speak and spell, because the way when we covered the original Sandown encounter, he had like a little microphone thing with him that he talked through. And I always pictured, remember that old toy that was like a cassette player, but it had a little microphone on it and you could do like karaoke through it?
Yeah, it can amplify your voice.
Yeah, both these stories come back to, well, they kind of sound like children's toys, is basically what Sam sounds like.
I wonder if that's part of the plan.
Like a Teddy Ruxpin in a way.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if that's part of the plan. Like, maybe they're trying to appear as like these non-threatening kind of clown scarecrow kind of things, because that's less scary than what their normal form would be. Big miscalculation on their part. They just happen to find the one kid who's familiar with clowns and not scared of them, But then also speaking to us like our toys would talk back then. I remember having, not only did I have Teddy Ruxpin, but I also had a Snoopy that read stories. And they both kind of had that sort of robotic cadence to it.
Yeah. One of the other things they talked about was they weren't directly referencing any questions that I asked, but in hindsight, they kind of answered a question that Faye had asked. She asked, are you a ghost? And they're like, yeah, I am, but in a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
When I was speaking to them, it was the question was like, how can I see you? Like, how can I see you? But like nobody else saw you. And the answer I got back was that it wasn't cryptic like the Skip the Starlight stuff was.
Yeah.
Or the all colors. But it was. Maybe I'll put it into better words. So they exist, but they say they exist on the same kind of level that our imagination is on.
Okay.
Whoa.
Or so in that way, they can tap into the imagination of, or that perception, I should say, of a child, and take bits and pieces of it and like look a certain way that it would look appealing to them, like the same way that like you would like you're not going to go to a fancy banquet dressed in like a Hawaiian shirt and a kaiki shorts or something. You're going to dress up fancy for
right.
fancy.
Yeah.
So their way of like communicating with that beings that can perceive them is to look the best based off what they know.
Oh,
or
man.
So that's why they could communicate with Fae in that time, and why adults couldn't see them was because childhood imagination. When you're a child, your imagination is, or your perception of imagination is stronger.
Yeah.
Right.
Like as you get older, there's a certain level of imagination you can do, but
It's not the same as a kid's imagination, for sure.
yeah.
Well, it's kind of like how they say like kids are more perceptive to like the paranormal, like ghosts and stuff like that. Like our minds are more open as children than as we get older, we get bitter and close all that down. So yeah, no, that makes sense. It's also terrifying because there's also kind of very It vibes, and I don't.
Yes,
I don't.
That's
like,
what I was just thinking.
Don't like that at all, and it sucks because the first Sam story, I was in love with him, and then when I heard your story, I was like, he's kind of a nightmare,
a dick,
and
he's
I don't care for it.
Creepy monster.
Yeah,
I would put his creepy factor to the fact that maybe he was trying to pick from two different perceptions of imagination, like Faye's and her friends, and so he was this mismatch of like the two of their expectations.
Yeah,
like maybe she saw clown and he saw robot, and then
it kind of
combined.
Yeah, it just merged together.
Yeah.
And then when it came to you, it knew like, hey, you're not terribly scared of clowns. This is the way I can, make myself familiar to you.
And it's also October, and we're getting into
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
It also explained why one of them didn't have a form, is that he hadn't encountered his encounteree or his
kid. I wonder how many people like across the world have this like fucked up memory, and they're just like, nah, that had to be a dream. There's no way. You know what I mean?
There's got to be a few at least. There has to be.
Yeah, you, Faye, and I forget the other kid, but you guys can't be the only ones.
So when I posted my encounter on Reddit, someone brought to light that there was an encounter about a month earlier in Brazil of someone who had seen a robotic figure in a field that looked exactly like Sam. So I know there's at least one other person out there that has brought it to light, but hasn't, I don't think, delved into it very much.
That's crazy, because I was re-listening to our episode we did on your story, and I had a theory that it was very much like it, where like once every almost like 20 years or something, he pops back up, because the first one was in 1973, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yours was, do you remember what year it was?
It was 1996 based on my math, because you were born in 1991, right?
It was 1996, yeah.
1996, and then one happened in 2024, I believe, is when your story came out. Or 23 was it was on their show.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's I think my theory is it just pops up every 20 to 30 years. Don't like that, but
I don't like it either.
If everything is believed about the Fae encounters, I will say that fairly recently it has come to light that Faye encountered Sam multiple times.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but to me that's not a new encounter. That's just she's just popping in to say hi to an old friend.
Yeah, which fingers crossed one of these days.
Yeah, man. Just make sure you take pictures.
Oh God.
Get a camera.
And also, if he tries anything, I do remember that Sam told Faye that if you try to fight them, they won't fight back. So you have the upper hand here. But he also did tell Faye that there are more like him. So the fact that there is Sam and then two other entities also tracks too. So that means the third one must have gotten his shape by now.
To my best of my knowledge, I keep an eye on things, but I believe that the third one is attached to my daughter because when she was young, we were in the house, and she looked down the hallway and she said, "Daddy, pale man."
Oh,
don't like that.
And at the time, I didn't realize what it was. Now that she's a little older and I'm more aware of pale or blank Sam, I kind of wonder if...
Jesus. I forgot that you had mentioned this story too, and goddamn, it got me all over again.
I assume she didn't know about your story, right? Like
I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my own family about it until well after the podcast was out.
Gotcha.
Okay.
The one thing I want to know is, what does "skip the starlight" mean?
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't have an idea what it could mean.
Because I have a theory, but I don't know. I want to know what you think or what you know. I guess I shouldn't say think. You lived it.
My concept of "skip the starlight" is that the red and green Christmas lights were this like passage through one, maybe not reality, but like one
dimension,
state of being to another dimension, maybe to another, and that it was basically being like, "Hello, I am Sam. I am all colors," which I have another theory on. But anyway, skip the starlight was like, just go through the door, close your eyes, ignore the passage thing as you pass in. Yeah,
see that's what I was thinking too. Is that the Twilight Zone door was like, skip the starlight. We don't got to take a ship. You can just walk right through, and then we're there. Like it's like the entrance to the wormhole was skipping the starlight, which means you don't have to travel through space or time. You're just there. Mm-hmm. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So you said you had a theory on what you think "we are all colors" means. Well, I want to know, because that is the one thing that I still don't understand.
So my theory about all colors is that it's the same kind of thing if we're getting into a child's ability to perceive. Mm-hmm. Children are able to perceive colors at a wider range of spectrum than adults are. So I believe that all colors means that it's their way of saying that he's visible on all light color spectrums.
Okay. That makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that way a child could see him, but maybe they are able to modify their perception so that only certain other individuals can see them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, that actually makes perfect sense. Especially for an interdimensional cloud, that makes 100% sense to me.
And then how you would describe it to a child is, I am all colors.
And that's why the kid can see you, because they can see a lot more colors than an adult.
What were you going to say, Sarge? You started asking something.
No, I lost it. I lost my train of thought. I'm just fascinated by the idea of this story. This, like, except for the fact that, like, it's clearly, kind of a haunting situation. It's just you kind of explained it in a way that it makes so much more sense to me. This wasn't a guy in a clunky scarecrow costume. This was your imagination being brought to life by some kind of entity to reach you.
Or that it exists on that same level of thought. Because I don't think that he was like, what's the word? Like a tulpa.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think he was like a thought made reality. I think it was more like you have in your brain this uncontrollable level of perception that you would call an imagination. But for us, it's a controlled reality.
And this thing was kind of just hijacking your imagination in reality.
To make a form that I could see and not be terrified by, because I can imagine that like 3 luminous white silhouettes showing up would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah,
but like
as it would anyone.
yeah, like in a ghost in a sort of way. Yeah.
I'd run immediately, and maybe that's what he meant when he said we're kind of like ghosts.
Yeah.
Or that, like what you're saying before, that like kids are more perceptible to seeing ghosts than they are,
Yeah.
So maybe that's another thing, another layer to it.
It is crazy that you and Faye had almost like polar opposite experiences, because when Faye and her friend encountered Sam, they were scared immediately. Then they got comfortable. Then they went into a shack. Yours was you were comfortable, and then you're like, this is turning rather ominous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there was a point in the sessions where I wasn't sure if that was my brain speaking to me, like making things that didn't happen or not. But there was this instant of like him being chastised by the other ones for that there's a procedure or that there's a way they're supposed to do it, and he messed it up.
and that's probably why it got a little darker.
Yeah, that he was supposed to start with the fear and then bring it into comfort. Instead, he did the opposite.
He was in training.
That's what I mean. Like, it was like, I didn't want to be like it would feel weird if it was like this Sam's trial period, and I'm just the unlucky kid to be the one that.
Yeah, and that's probably why you remember it. Like, if they do it right, you don't remember it at all. So maybe there's a huge population that's encountered Sam's at some point in their life, and they don't remember it because they did it the right way. But you got the trainee, and
it does make me wonder sometimes about other not Sam related things. Like, what if the shape they take? This has been my big thing in recent that my ex-wife is a bit like, are you sure you're not going insane? Which is that if they are perceptible on all colors, and they can choose to be perceptible to some people and others not, is it fully within their range that maybe they could make themselves perceivable to adults? And if they can make themselves perceivable to adults, and they tap into an adult's imagination, what form would they take then? And it makes me wonder, like, if there are other encounters with these beings that are completely unrelated to Sam that might have been Sam.
Okay.
I don't think that's crazy. That's kind of where my mind was going when we were talking about this, is like, other people had to have seen this, but maybe it's just, he appeared differently, so it's not as memorable.
But also, like, a Mothman could have been whatever Sam is. You know what I mean? Like,
and with Mothman's voice, like Mothman, the way Mothman talked was kind of similar in that sort of robotic cadence, right?
I think Mothman was just a wild screech, but maybe.
No, Mothman called up on the phone as Indrid Cole.
Well, no, that was just Indrid Cold.
Oh, okay. I thought that was also.
But what if Indrid Cold was a Sam?
Yeah.
All right. Now we're cooking with gas.
Like, this is like control.
This is what I mean. This is where the insanity comes from.
I don't know. I don't think you're crazy at all. I think this is the logical step you take.
Yeah.
Because there can't just be 3 people who experience this. I feel like there's more, and they probably just don't remember it as vividly as you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, that means this does, like, whatever entity Sam is, if he even is an entity, because, like, people saw him as they perceived him.
Right.
So, like, he must not have, like, an actual shape or form, right? So it could take the shape or form of anything almost, if that's how your imagination or your mind perceives it when they enter that subconscious plane of existence. You know what I mean? So it could have been a Mothman, it could have been an Indrid Cold For all we know, it could be all the Bigfoots.
It could be literally anything.
I like that. I mean, I don't like it. I hate that.
I would put it to if there's ever been an encounter where they've spoken, because for me it seems like the communication point has to be the thing. Yeah.
The other thing I was wondering too is that he opened a door for you and you went inside, saw the green room. Faye and her friend had kind of had that same experience too, but like she actually saw like the shack or the shed, whatever you want to call it. I wonder if, I'm not going to say it's a ship because that's kind of seems weird to say, but I wonder if like it's the same shed or shack from hers, but like in the field it was kind of cloaked or maybe camouflaged a bit better. And that's kind of why when you walked in, it was all kind of hazy, maybe. I mean, that could also just be your memory, but I wonder if it's like it was cloaked or camouflaged better. And when you opened the door, then it wasn't actually a doorway to nowhere. It was just whatever it was camouflaged.
Yeah, I feel like it was hiding, or if it wasn't hiding, then it was hadn't fully come into materialized into our world yet.
Gotcha.
Our world. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that you remember or that you want to talk about?
Yeah. Before we wrap up, do you have anything else you wanted to say?
The only thing I really wanted to bring up, which somebody actually asked me on Reddit one time, and I never had an answer until the hypnosis, was the waking up or the being found in the field by myself. Like why would they put me through all the asking questions, talking about things that I can't, why would it go through all that and then leave me in the field to be found? And through the sessions, there was this point of it being like, it kind of relates to a little bit to other abduction stories where they don't want to traumatize you, ironically. Yeah. So they will like try to put the memory away. But these things, I'm not gonna say they're inept, but it feels like they did a half-assed job of it. They knocked me out, but they didn't do the forgetting part.
Yeah. Well, again, it was your Sam's first day, so I mean, can't be too mad at him. You know, he's still in
trainee Sam.
Yeah, you had trainee Sam.
I don't know how I feel about trainee Sam.
Yeah,
he's learning on the job.
An internship in Sam.
Kid's just trying to get some college credits by abducting a child and wiping his memory.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I had questions, but then as you were telling your story, you kept answering them, so I never felt the need to ask any. Sarge, do you have anything you...
No, Luke, I really appreciate you reaching out and being patient. It was really hard to get this scheduled. We've been, radio silent for a while, and then we finally linked up, and I'm glad we finally made it work. This is a great story. I'm excited to have everybody else hear it.
To answer two of your things, I guess there, when it comes to questions about it, I have asked myself a lot of these things and tried my very hardest to figure it out as best I can.
Yeah, that's all you really can do.
But when it comes to telling people what happened, it's still surreal. Like the other day, I was thinking about the today, and I just looked up other podcasts about Sam the Sandown Clown and just scrolled through. I won't name any, there was one, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll see the comments, see what people say about it, and one of them was literally being, oh yeah, there was a guy from Canada who saw one, and I'm like, I'm like, that's me. But
you're going viral in our little community, Luke.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm. There was something. I think I told you that when we talked last, Sarge. But something that last podcast on the left, one of their people said that is, I think rings true for me, which is that people often say like, "Oh, they got into the paranormal," or they're saying this thing, or they're talking about this abductions for the money. There's no money in this.
Yeah,
No.
Can confirm.
Dude, even Bob Lazar, like one of the most famous like he's not making any money. Like,
yeah,
because if anything,
nobody's
usually
making any money on this.
Usually when people come forward with like stories like this, the exact opposite happens. They either get more ridiculed or something like that than they do see any sort of fame. I feel like the one person was the fire in the sky guy. I think that's about it.
And look what he had to give up to get it, you know?
Yeah. I will say that I am surprised because Sam the Sandown Clown, the original one from the Isle of Man, like that story is everywhere. And it's crazy to me that your story was told on the Cryptonaught podcast over 2 years ago. And it just seems like this story's flown under the radar. And this is a way more compelling and crazy story, I feel like. Or even just the fact that there's a second story out there, I feel like more people should know about it. And it's wild that no one talks about it.
We're going to talk about it.
Oh yeah. When I brought it up to the Cryptonaut community afterwards, and like they did follow up. There was one thing that I mentioned to the Cryptonauts that after about a year, I realized that it was just my brain playing tricks on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had told them originally that when I was getting older, I would make these little drawings, and they looked like the alien grays, and some of them would look like Sam and all this kind of thing. And I'm like, as I've kind of gone on, I'm like, that doesn't, that's not. I don't. Not that it's not true. It's what I did draw these things, but I don't think they have any connection to like Sam. I think it's just the imagination of a kid, and I just I was trying to pick at straws immediately after this awakening.
It's probably your brain like putting them into the same category.
Yeah, like everything that had any connection to it was just put into one big pile, and then over the years, I've been just
able to weed out what's that makes sense. All right, Luke. Well, we're coming up on over an hour. Thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Taking your time out, and I hopefully we didn't re-traumatize you too much or make light of the situation too much. But it really is a fascinating story. Like I said, I wish I had more questions, but as you were talking, you kept answering them.
Yeah, so. You really did. You definitely answered most of the questions that I had too.
Yeah.
Just, we're gonna Dave's gonna edit this, so he's not gonna like cut out big chunks or anything, but he is gonna trim down any of the silences and pauses as like you were trying to remember stuff or we were trying to get a point out if we paused at all. So when you listen to it, it'll be a little bit shorter than it is now, but probably not by too much.
Yeah, he knows how podcasts work. All right, sorry.
I'm just letting him know we're gonna,
all right, Luke. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Is there anything else real quick before we say goodbye? Or?
Yeah. Do you want to plug anything? Do you want to get anything out there?
Oh God. Oh yeah. My 4 new books coming out now. No, I don't have anything I want to plug.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, man. Again, we really appreciate it taking your time out, especially on Easter. By the way, we're recording this on Easter for anyone listening. Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
No problem, guys.
And this should be out actually tomorrow. I'm pretty quick, so hopefully we
That's
do you right. Said. All right.
Oof.
All right, Luke. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Luke.
No problem.
Have a good one.
You too, guys.
Boop, 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 boop. And we're back on the other side of the interview with Luke. I wouldn't really call it an interview though. It was more just like a friendly chat, and he told a story that was haunting.
It's nearly impossible for me to see that as an interview because he was just so like, I was just like captivated by the story. It's such a crazy story. He is like, he's just very relatable. You could tell it's something that he genuinely remembers. It's not like he's trying to tell us a story.
Yeah.
You know, he I don't even know his last name. The dude's not trying to get famous. It's just, and you could tell like it was haunting for him too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of felt bad, like making him relive it. Like, all right, what else happened, bud?
It was kind of hard, but I mean, it is crazy. Like the similarities between the stories, between like Faye's encounter in the 70s and his encounter in the 90s. Like I think I mentioned it in the interview, but like it's weird that it's like a polar opposite when it comes to the encounters. Cause at first when Faye and her friend encountered Sam, they were terrified. And then, you know, they kind of warmed up to the whatever. And then there was the questions that Faye asked that kind of make his story more believable, which was like, you know, his answers were there are more than one. There's more of us. And that they were not ghosts, but kind of ghosts, I guess.
So creepy.
Yeah. Ugh. And then like the whole, like he went inside, what did we call it? The Sam shed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same vibe that Faye was talking about, you know, like the similarities are there, but they're not so similar that it's like you could tell he wasn't like ripping that story to make his story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah.
The other thing that I thought was interesting is that he had never heard that story until he got much older. So he had this memory for most of his life.
To be fair, no one really has heard the Sam Down Clown like story.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not.
I mean, I did, but that's because I was a weird fucking kid and I never went outside.
And now we're both weird adults who don't go outside.
Yep. I go outside a little bit more now than I did when I was a kid, which is terrifying.
But yeah, it was good. It was good. I think it went well. Hopefully we do him justice.
Yeah. Hopefully Luke's happy with it. Luke, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hopefully we weren't too goofy.
On Easter, nonetheless.
Yeah, dude.
That poor guy.
I know. And he has three kids.
And he's hanging out with us.
I mean, not going to lie. I would want to hang out with me instead of 3 kids.
That's true. But that's because my kids are older and they can talk now. So they're way more annoying.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. So I guess we'll wrap this up. This is going to be a pretty long episode, I feel like. I guess if you want to follow us, you can do that on Instagram at Cryptic Cocktail. Follow us TikTok, Cryptic Cocktail Party. We're going to be on an upcoming episode of Perplexity, a mystery podcast. I can't wait. I don't even know should I announce it? I'm going to announce it. I don't care. So you should see that soon.
Yeah, it's our second run on that show. I love the topic.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it.
It's a good one. And much like this interview, I didn't say a word through most of it because I was just enthralled with the story. And any questions I had were already asked as the story was being told. So
yes,
if you hear me not talking on this show or Perplexity, you know why. Sarge, you got anything you want to?
No, I'm good. Happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah, happy Easter.
If you celebrate. I do have a quick funny story about Easter.
Okay.
So I take my son to the gym on Sunday mornings, and we always stop at the gas station to get an energy drink beforehand.
Obviously.
In the gas station, there is this guy who is very not Christian. And I know this because he has to like step out back sometimes to pray and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The 5 times a day or whatever. And so as we're leaving, my son looks at him and goes, "Happy Easter." And then he turns around and as he's leaving, he makes his face like, "Oops." Like, it's okay, buddy. Yeah. It's okay.
You can still say it. It's not a.
You can still say it. It's fine.
As long as at least he didn't look at the guy and be like, "Happy the day your Lord has risen." Like at least he didn't say anything like fucked up.
No, the guy said it back all polite and friendly.
Yeah, but also see how easy that is. I feel like Republicans need to get their head out of their ass. You know?
Yeah, they need to calm down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny because it was that moment of social realization, like, oh, I fucked up.
And then he turned to me like, son, that's the first of many.
Yeah. You'll do it again. It's fine.
That's like the other day when I went to the gym, the guy at the front desk was like, have a good workout. And I was like, you too. And I was like, fuck.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that. When someone's like when someone's like happy birthday and you're like, yeah, you too.
Yeah, it's like, God damn it. Your kid has a full life of that ahead of him. So
yeah. I told him, don't worry about it, buddy. Yeah. It's totally fine.
Best to start him early. All right, bud. Well, I guess with that out of the way, Sarge, would you like to say goodbye and I love you to the audience?
Hell yeah, I would. Goodbye. We are all colors and I love you.